Okay, everybody. Welcome to our Friday version, our weekend update here for PreciseAlgorithmTrading.com. And let's dive right in. I'm not pulling up our website, but it's at PreciseAlgorithmTrading.com, and we've got some content that we load over there from YouTube. So, you know, go back through some of that stuff. Try to give good content on there, and remember that trading is at your own risk. Um, Not my risk, your risk. My risk for my account, your risk for your account. All right, so our automated trading systems, our weekly review. I go ahead and stick the 12-month charts on here. This is not the 12-month chart. This is the one we use with the shorter time data, just because it's easier for the machine to run. Besides that, they're quarterly contracts. So, anyways, this is since April, and this is the Dow. It's the YM contract, and we've had a little bit of a drawdown lately, but actually the real lately is pulling back up again. So, um, I'm going to run some numbers on this weekend and see if I can't do the same sort of uh, uh, improvement that I did on the NASDAQ contract, just to really do away with some of this drawdown. And it might need to trade a little bit more, but I even have some tricks there, I think, up my sleeve. So this is the latest trading today. We're on the 20th, so fewer trades today than yesterday. The only reason that even matters is because of commissions, but in the scheme of things, commissions are no big deal. They're they're built in. Um, so on the all-in today, this one's pretty much break even. 1, 2, 3,000 down. 1, 2. Okay, it's a little bit down today. But in the all-in, this is the 12 months. That is not 12 months. That's 7/19/22 to 10/20/22. That is 13 months. So, anyways, actually, that's good. It's better to have more data. So, you can see this is flattening out a little bit. We'd like to get this back up and going straight up. So that's kind of the thing I'm going to be looking at, the type of thing. The Russell here, it's been a little bit of a drawdown lately, but just like we've been talking about, that was a nice big pop all at once, relatively, and that's what it looked like right there back on the 6th. And lately, on the 20th, we had one negative trade, so it is what it is. On the all-in, this is what it looks like from 10. Yeah, so that's a year's worth of data. So, and the whole thing is, do you have the stomach to be able to handle that drawdown and the account for what it's worth? You need enough of a balance in your account to be able to still be able to participate once it bounces. When it gets to the point where it gets ready to bounce. And then you want to see something like this. So this bounce and this bounce look pretty similar, and you can see, well, that bounce down there is similar as well. So then you get a nice climb. That's what we're looking for. And this is our NASDAQ. This is the latest trading, really, since we made the change, is right there. And there's one trade that's missing from this for today because it's on another page, but I really didn't want to do all the cutting and pasting. So, and I think it was a little bit of a loser, but it was like in the neighborhood of one of these, I think. And all in, you can see we did okay today. Got a new green dot today for what it's worth. It was not a right home day. I mean, it wasn't a great. I mean, it was fine. We made money in all our trading here, in the all in. But yeah, um, There were some great trades in there, but there were some offsetting losses as well. So, but this is the 1019 to 1020. That's a year's worth of data, and we got to live through these bellies. That's really what it boils down to. And I'm trying to even out the bellies so that there's not as much of bellies, but they're inevitable, and you have to have some just because that's the way the market moves in waves. All right, let's flip to Thinkorswim. Um, I went ahead and put the same ATR trailing stop on here, and you might notice that like these bars are green, and I made it so that the bars would turn when the ATR trailing stop told it to, but I also used my EMA indicator to tie it together, so it's obviously nothing's perfect, but this is pretty good. And this is the hourly chart, the daily chart, the weekly chart, and by the ATR trailing stop, the weekly is crossed over, and actually by our Harvard system, it's crossed over as well. So, and the daily system, it's crossed over. So this would be a stop out if I was actually, well, I'm in some SPX stuff, so it's a place where we're going to set a stop or just close it for Monday's open and see what happens. But you can trade this off of the hourly chart as well and let it turn into the daily chart, which is kind of what I was doing. And then since we were down so far, I just held on, and I've got a stop in place, or I will have a stop in place, I should say. So that's the SPX. Here's the Dow. So really everything is still sort of looking like it's oversold, but I think we're, like I said before, we're getting into a place where the rubber band stretched to the downside, but it's going to keep doing that till we see a snapback in the candle or something. We're going to have to see a big bullish engulfing candle or something like that. And the Dow flipped over as well, and it's been underneath the Harvard lines for a bit. At some point here, this thing's going to snap back, and I'm going to be watching the hourly chart for it. The Russell, still down, broke through some support levels, and same thing. We're oversold on the hourly chart over here. I'll also watch the minute or the 15-minute chart and that type of thing. What this really boils down to is we might have some. I mean, when we pull back up again, unless we start breaking these ATRs to the upside, I mean, we're probably, when this thing gets back up even on the weekly to where it ties back in closely to the ATR trailing stop, we're probably going to roll over again, would be where I'm at, but we'll see how it comes when the time comes. Unless we get some big catalyst like, yeah, Christmas is coming and the holiday season, and these numbers, October, November, and December, we usually have pretty good bullish months in those, and we also are on a presidential election cycle. So, but again, the charts don't lie. So this is the Nasdaq, and I thought it was actually going to be the one that was going to bounce, and it just failed more toward the end of the day than anything. We got a little bit of a bounce. That was in the middle of the day right here, and yeah, it sold off toward the end of the day. So Monday's going to probably have a weak start, or it'll bounce strong and then have a weak middle, and then we'll see what happens toward the end of the day. It's the typical kind of price action that happens. All right, let's look at the transports. Down, down, down. Flipped over. That's 2 weeks in a row now. We're still, this is important, the true Momo indicator is, which means a lot of momentum indicators will be, still over 0, and that's more bullish than bearish. So we'll see how that plays into all this too. And oil started flipping back up again. So I really don't think we're going to get a push through the ATR trailing stop and a push back up um, into it without it failing, which is actually what's going on here on the hourly chart. So this thing could just roll over from here. At least, in my opinion, it's going to be between this level and these levels down here. It's kind of the range to be looking for. We are bullish on the weekly though. All right, I'm going to flip over and finish with the bullish percent indexes, and I'm going to go quick and wrap this up for the weekend. The industrials down 7.69%. The NYA down 4.56%, but still really haven't broken this support level. We look like we're close though. I think we're only 0.21% off. The transports didn't move today. We've already kind of gotten down to that. I mean, that was a big move in the last couple days to the downside. The NASDAQ minus 5.09%. Still on a point and figure buy signal. Interesting. The SPX rolled over to a column of O's. I think the NDX did that in the last day or two. What's the OEX doing? On a column of X's, but looks like it wants to, well, it's down 10.81%, but the fact that it held X's today is interesting. So, and finally the NDX tacked on more O's today. So we are on a point and figure sell signal on the NDX, and I was really hoping it was going to be a quick flip back up to column of X's, but it's looking like it's going to grind its way lower unless we get a big flash crash or something like that. And it is October, so let's hope we don't get a Monday surprise. Well, I'm going to make sure I'm buckled down for that in case we have a so I'm going to have my stops in place and just be prepared to be able to take the heat. And that's what I got for you guys. So everybody have a great weekend, and we will talk to you next week.